Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah if you're new here. And in today's video, I'm talking about my anticipated releases for the months of May, June, July, and August. I did a video like this in like December or January about my January through April anticipated releases. And so now that May is approaching, here are some more books that I am eagerly anticipating their publication. We're gonna go in order of months, of course, starting in May. So first of all, we have kind of an interesting one. We have The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Now, the reason this is on my anticipated, I haven't read this author's debut. I don't really have any interest in that book, but the cover of this book really drew me in. I don't really know anything about it other than this is probably a fantasy romance, but I saw this cover and I was like, I don't even care. I want to read that so bad. So I'm gonna go into it blind, and sometimes that's a lot of fun. So maybe you'll pick this one up with me in May. Then we have Dream on Ramona Riley by Ashley Herring Blake, which is a sapphic contemporary romance. And my last Ashley Herring Blake was Make the Season Bright, and I pre-ordered that and absolutely hated it and gave it like 2 stars. So I'm tempering my expectations because I'm now 50-50 with this author. 2 books of hers, 5 stars, absolute all-time favorites. 2 books of hers that really didn't work for me. One was a 3.5 star and one was a 2 star. So I'm tempering my expectations with Ramona Riley a little bit. I'm probably going to get this one from the library first before I buy it, but I will be reading this soon, and this one looks super cute. It looks like a cute summer sapphic romance. Then we have Brandon Sanderson, technically secret project number 5, which is called Isles of the Emberdark, and it's a Brandon Sanderson. We have such a long wait for another Stormlight Archive book from this author that I am just like, give us the crumbs, Brandon. And he will be publishing other things in the 7 years between book 5 and 6 of that series. So it's not like he's not feeding us, but this is his last like secret project that he did while he was kind of cooped up during COVID, and it's another Cosmere novel, so that's all I need to know, and this will be shipped to me. I pre-ordered this and I'm excited. The last book that I have in May is Kennedy Ryan's newest book, Can't Get Enough. This is the 3rd book in this contemporary romance series. Kennedy Ryan and I, we have, again, it's like kind of a tumultuous relationship. There's a couple of her books that I absolutely love. I love Real, I love Long Shot by this author, and I'm like, her other books, they're okay for me. These read like hard-hitting contemporary dramas with romances, and they're usually pretty long, but I kind of want to see what else she has because I have loved books from her in the past. So I'm gonna probably again get this from the library, but this is the 3rd friend in like this little friend group that we've seen in the previous 2 books. And so I really like that character, so I can't wait to see her romance. Again, with tempered expectations personally. In June, we have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I don't love V.E. Schwab as an author. The only book that I have really loved by this author was Vicious, but Darker Shade of Magic trilogy was like okay. I have no interest in Addie LaRue. Like, there's just this author and me, we don't vibe most of the time, but I kind of want to see what she does or what they do with a vampire story. So that's what this one is. Then we have 10 Incarnations of Rebellion. This is the latest from Vaishnavi Patel, who wrote Kaikeyi, which is behind me. One of my favorite books of all time. I didn't love The Goddess of the River by this author. That was a DNF. But this is another kind of retelling from this author. So again, we're batting 500 with this author as well. So I'm really looking forward to it and hoping to find some more of that like coming of age, hard-hitting drama with the mythological backdrop is kind of what I'm hoping for. Then we have The Mercy Makers by Tessa Gratton, and my notes in here is, it says a queer adult fantasy romance trilogy. And I think that's literally why I put it on my anticipated releases, because I want more queer adult fantasy romance trilogies. Why not? I don't think I've read anything by this author before, but this one looks great. Sign me up. The last book I have in June is the newest Megan E. O'Keefe. I have been really enjoying this author lately. And this newest one, The Two Lies of Fabian Scythe, is a standalone sci-fi space opera. The previous books I've read from this author were trilogies, and I'm still needing to complete one of those trilogies, but this is a standalone space opera, and I cannot wait. In July, we have a new Silvia Moreno Garcia, which is called The Bewitching. And so I love this author. I have a whole video gushing about her, but her last 3 releases have been strikeouts for me. So I just haven't been clicking with her newer works, but this is a return to fantasy. This has to do with witches. So I'm hoping with a return to fantasy, she and I will click once again. We're not quite broken up, but I just didn't love her last couple of releases, and you know, fingers crossed that I'm gonna like this one as well. We have a new S.T. Gibson, which is Ascension, which is the second book after Evocation, which is a dark academia urban fantasy with a polyamorous romance. And I have in my notes that this is the conclusion, so it's a duology, but I could be wrong on that. But this is a continuation of that series, if nothing else. The Memory of the Ogisi, which is the third and final book in this series by Moses Ose Otomi. The first book in this series is The Lies of the Ajango, which is one of my favorite fantasies, I think, of all time. I really like The Lies of the Ajango, and these are a series of novellas, and this is the conclusion. The first book acts as a standalone. The second and third books are very closely tied together. The second book kind of has a cliffhanger ending, sort of, and it is in the same world. So they do act as a trilogy, but first one is definitely can be read on its own. And then I've been waiting for book 3. Then we have The Last Thorn, which is a new Talia Hibbert. I love Talia Hibbert so much. I have another video gushing about Talia Hibbert. This is a fantasy romance from this author. She typically writes contemporary romance, and so, but it's not her first fantasy romance. She does have a monster romance that I did read. So she's not unfamiliar with the genre, but it's been several years since she wrote in this subgenre of romance or fantasy, whatever. And so I can't wait. I'm super excited. I've heard this is the start of a series from her as well. I can't wait to see what this author does with romantasy, because her romances are killer. They're so good. I pretty much like most, if not all, of her romances. And the only thing that I have in August so far is a new T. Kingfisher, which is Hemlock and Silver. This is another dark fantasy retelling, and it's a new T. Kingfisher, and that's like literally all I need to know personally. Again, I love T. Kingfisher. I have yet another video talking about all the books I've read by T. Kingfisher and my recommended reading order. If you are interested in that, as I have that one for her. And I am loving T. Kingfisher's rise to fame. She publishes multiple books a year, and I'm really liking her dark fantasy retellings quite a bit. Anyway, those are the books that I have on my list for the next 4 months or so. What are some books that you're excited about? Should I be adding something to my list? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another review of mine very soon. Bye!